Okay, we are live. It's
Cool.
the Mutt-Man. I'm here with my co-creator, Dan Dan the Man,
What's going on, guys?
and we've got Cridious here.
How you doing, everybody?
Hey, Cridious, thank you so very much for jumping on the stream with us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you got it.
Why don't you tell us? I mean, this is the first time we're meeting, so where does the name Cridious come from?
He was a student of Socrates, and he became a rebel and the leader of the 30 tyrants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I need to learn some history, huh?
If you want to.
No, I'll definitely look that up. That's really a cool name. I was wondering where that came from. I was like,
Yeah.
Cridious. That sounds cool.
Yeah, but it's spelled with the it's spelled Kritias.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the official version.
Why do you spell it with CRID then?
Just to make it different.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on. Yeah. So you're very busy. I've been seeing you all over the place on like all kinds of streams. And it's not because I'm like stalking you or chasing you down. It's just that you're on all the streams that I happen to be interested in.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I like following these guys, and I like to hear what they had to say.
Yeah. Well, I just saw you on Doug Tenaple reading Ecclesiastes.
Yeah. He messaged me if I wanted to go on his show. I was like, yeah, he told me he expects me the situation. So I told him I'll do it.
That's cool, man. I'm a Christian myself, and I love the Bible. So those kinds of things are so weird and sort of like it's really interesting to me how Comicsgate brings so many different cultural things together.
Right.
And it's a cool thing to because I was a fan of Doug Tenaple before Comicsgate. He all of a sudden shows up in the Comicsgate stuff that I'm watching. And so then he adds a lot of validity to a lot of what people are saying in Comicsgate, which gets me a lot more interested in it.
Right.
Then all of his, his stuff that he likes to do, like, he likes to share his faith. He likes to talk politics. He likes to argue and talk to people about things that are tough subjects. And so it's really cool that, like people like you and, other people like Mitch Breitweiser and all are willing to go on there and talk about those kinds of things, even Nurkish,
Yeah.
it's really cool. It's a great thing.
Right.
So, well, first of all, congrats on Detective Dead. That thing got fully funded and it's still on the rise.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. It means a lot.
Why don't you tell us what it's about?
Yeah, sure. It's about a 1932 detective that goes on a police raid to bust these guys who are about to become one giant organization, these two rival factions. And during the raid, one of the major criminals escapes and winds up at his house. And as he's in the hospital, his partner tells him, hey, it's a long day, we did what we needed to do, go home. So when he arrives home, he finds his wife and daughter dead. And little did he know that the guy is in the next room waiting for him. So he hears music and he gets up and he finds the guy, and the guy has a gun on his lap and basically menaces him, and they get into a shootout. So you know how guys like to be macho mans, so he don't want to die, and neither does the detective. So the criminal walks outside the house bloodied, and so does the detective follow behind him. And when they wind up outside, our hero takes a shot, but he misses. He doesn't get to kill the guy.
Yeah.
So they die both together, right, like maybe 5 feet from each other, looking up at this strange blood moon. And then he wakes up in modern day time. He wakes up, like not knowing how he got to the future. And the story, I'm going to try to explain the story, because it's going to probably take time to explain throughout the issues, but I'll probably try doing this one. But anyway, he wakes up in modern day time, and he also finds out that there are also criminals from his past that he supposedly killed, and the guy who murdered his family are alive and running around in the city, So he's got to try to stop them.
It's just such a cool concept, and definitely it's very unique. I mean, I've never heard of anything like it. Did you? Was this inspired by? Well, let me ask you this first. Is this your first comic? Is this the first project that you've done?
Yeah. Yep. I did a children's book a couple of years back in like 2014, somewhere around there. and
Yeah.
then it didn't work out so well. So then I just started just focusing on writing for movies. I almost had a few, like 1 or 2 options with 2 screenplays that I had. Didn't
Yeah.
work out either. So I was just basically about giving up writing, you know.
And then this.
Yep. And then EVS and his Cyberfrog success, and it sparked the fire inside me to try writing one last time, because I was ready to give it up. I didn't care anymore. You know,
Mm.
I said to myself, maybe God doesn't want this for me. Maybe this is not his goal for my life. I should start focusing on, just getting a what do you call that, a permanent job or something like, somewhere I could
Sure.
just stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I gave it just one last shot, and I said, God, if it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't. So then what happened was that my first campaign failed.
Huh.
Of Detective Dead, it failed.
Was that on Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
Yeah, it was on Indiegogo. So it failed, and I was so disappointed. I said, "Okay, God, I get it. I'm gonna do this." But then I saw I raised up $1,000. I said, "Okay, God, I'm gonna take the money you gave me. I'm gonna pay the artist a new artist that I found, because my artists were dropping out. So I paid the new artist, and he came up with these pages you see now.
Man.
And then I got the colorist. I paid him, and I got the inker, and I paid. Well, I didn't pay him yet. I still owe him money, which is amazing, because he understood my position.
Yeah.
And so I got these pages, and now with the money I got, I can pay everybody to create this project.
That's cool, man. Hey, Cridious, this is Dan.
How you doing, Dan?
Co-creator with Jason on our book. And so we've been kind of pumped on getting your support with us, which has been really cool. I appreciate you. And one thing you're saying, man, you said, you're told God, if this is, if this is going to work, it's going to work. If not, it's okay. But it just popped in my head. One thing my wife always tells me, she says, your gifts will make room for you. And it's something she read in a devotion somewhere, and she always says that to me. And she says, if it's a gift and it's one that was given to you, then that's what's going to happen. I believe that's what you got, man. I definitely do. It's a cool concept. I've been into it. I know Jason's been into it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I backed already. Backed today, because I was just
nice.
looking at it, and I was just like, man, I got to have this thing. So
It's a good deal. It's a
Yeah.
really good deal.
yeah, I love that you got the. Well, we'll get into that. I got a couple questions before we get into the Indiegogo.
Sure.
What about, what is it about this story that you really love, that you can't wait? And no spoilers or anything, but what is it that you love that you can't wait for the readers to get out of this story?
I really want to expose him already. Expose his superpowers. Because I think he has some really cool superpowers. He can vanish into shadows. He can track people by touching objects or places that they've been.
Oh yeah.
So and he can draw any type of weapon out of his trench coat.
Huh.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I was trying to be unique, because I didn't want to go with so much cliche.
Yeah.
But I did kind of went cliche with his strength, but not that he's overpowered. Just that, for example, he can rip a car door out, but he can't stop a car from hitting him.
Okay. Right. He's limited. He's got limit. He's super strong, but he does have a limit to that strength.
Right. Because I like characters with flaws, because when you put them in jeopardy or in danger, it makes it more interesting to see how they're gonna get out of it.
Oh yeah, I definitely like that better. I mean, one thing I don't like, everybody always talks about Superman, and I'm not a Superman fan.
Right.
And it's because, and there's been some great Superman stories, but for me, it's just not that interesting. He's too powerful,
Yeah.
And so I very much more like the level of character like Batman or Spider-Man, who have a lot of flaws. There's a lot of weaknesses there. They can be destroyed. Those are my favorite kind of characters. So I'm really into that. That is cool.
Right.
What about, you said he can, he basically uses detective skills through touching things and places where people have been?
Right. Like, for example, if there's an accident in front of the house, right, in front of your house, and the 2 people take off, and there's somebody on the ground on the street, he can come and he can either touch the person or touch like the tire marks on the ground, and he can see and track which way they went, and he can continue tracking from there.
Yeah.
And find them.
And it's really neat. The art team you got on this is super deluxe. How did you connect with your artist and your colorist and all that?
Oh man, that was God knows I ain't gonna lie. This is I had bad run-ins, I had one artist that I hired, and I gave him $250 to give me 5 character designs and a page with 2 characters fighting, and he gave me everything in 1 page, you know. And I was like, I paid $250 for 1 page, and you know, me being a Christian, I don't want to argue with anybody, you know, unless it's necessary. But I told him, you know what, it's cool, I'll take it. So that was my first campaign image, you know. And then I hired this artist who was willing to work, but I had to wait for him to a couple of months later because his country was hit with a tsunami, I think, was it?
Oh man.
Yeah, or a flood. Yeah, it was a flood. He had a flood, and I was like, oh darn. So then
Bad luck.
I contacted another artist. I contacted 2 more artists. They turned me down. They said they can't because they backed up projects, and I was like, I don't know what to do. You know, the one artist that I hired who has a name in the industry, he wanted $13,000 down.
Woo, man.
Yeah. So I was like, I was basically in trouble. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I got this money. People are raising up money, and my artists are dropping out, and I have basically nothing. I'm gonna have to refund everybody. So then, towards like the last week of the campaign, I went to DeviantArt, and I was looking for, like, I put comic book illustrators, and I came across this guy, and I fell in love with his work. I was like, oh, this guy's amazing. So when I saw a description on his thing where he says he's done Kickstarters, I said, this is the guy. This is the guy I got to get in contact with. And when I contacted him, he said, yeah, I'm behind you 100%. Let's do this. I'll give you some promo images and then your pages. And that's what he did. You know, right there, Ratchet, that's a promo image. I didn't even ask for it. He just gave it to me.
What's the name of the artist?
Rod Looper.
Okay, Looper, right. Yeah, this guy's he's really talented. Is he a part of Comicsgate? Has he ever been on any of that kind of stuff with you?
He knows Comicsgate, and we spoke about this before, and he's cool with me being Comicsgate, but he said he wants to stay, like, I guess, in the neutral lines.
Sure, yeah.
Because he doesn't want the harassment because he got a kid and all that. I was like, look, I understand. You know,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I completely understand. You know, I'm not gonna bring you into it. You know.
Yeah.
But I did tell him, you know, when I put this book out, your name is gonna be on it. You know.
That's right. That's
he
right.
did a great job on this character design, though. It's really cool.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about Ratchet? I mean, what this guy? For me, I'll be honest with you. Like, this image not that one. This image right here. It's a really well done image and everything, but it has kind of a classic noir feeling to it.
Right.
And it doesn't have the awesome sci-fi fantasy feeling to it that this stuff has. And for me personally, this is what draws me in, like this cool action scene right here. The fact that this guy's obviously got supernatural ability and skills. And then you throw in this character right here, and I'm like, holy crap, this is way beyond just a noir type story. This is very, very out there and different. So the juxtaposition of this character Ratchet with the noir style detective, that really, like, amped up my curiosity about your book. And really, that's what got me to fund you, because I want to know more about how this kind of stuff fits in together. So tell me about Ratchet and like what he represents to the story.
Okay. Well, Ratchet, he's all right. So you know how when there's like movies or comic books you read, and they got the gangster, right? The main gangster, and then they got henchmen, right? Well, he's a gangster. He's not a henchman, but he's a gangster alongside other gangsters. You know? Yeah. So the story has more than, like, I think more than 13 villains. You know, cool. But they're gonna be introduced throughout a series of comics. You know, so right now we're just gonna see this guy and the main villain that killed the hero's family. They're gonna be in the story. So with him, he came from a steampunk idea.
Okay.
You know? Because it's gonna. I don't want to give away the story too much, but he goes through some type of injury that has to basically have him have some body parts replaced.
Okay.
You know, so that's how we get this design.
I gotta say, I respect anybody wearing a half cape and Argyle socks.
That is some fashion.
I wanted him to look like because I didn't want all my gangsters to look like they all wear suits, because then it just becomes cliche.
Right. So
I told him, look, you know, I went online, I started looking for like old fashioned like get-ups and all that stuff, and I found this one. It was like some type of European get-up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, Jason knows my weird appreciation for bad Rob Liefeld characters, and one of my favorites has a half cape, so I'm into it.
Yeah, the cape actually was his idea.
I think it's cool. I like it. I like the whole concept. It looks really good.
I like these shoes right here, man. Look at this. He's got like metal shoes with some like bolts right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So his, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, really cool character concept. Go ahead and finish.
No, so yeah. So his story, right? Because I wrote every all of my characters have a background story to them, you know. And for him, it was that see, I remember he was a train conductor, and before he joined the gangsters, he was a train conductor. And what he would do is he would allow homeless people to sleep on the train, you know, as he travels across the country. And the reason he did it was because when he was growing up as a kid, he was also homeless in some form, in some sense, you know, his mother and all that. So he has a tragic story, but you know, he leads down the wrong path and becomes, you know, and joins these, you know, these people, these gangsters, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Ratchet is he's a gangster, but he's not the main bad guy.
No, no. It's like you know how you got Joker as the main bad guy of Batman, his arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Well, Ratchet is like, I guess you would say, the Riddler or Mr. Freeze or something.
Okay.
Like side villains.
Yeah. Okay. So then, for the main villains, can you tell us about them, or would that be spoiling too much?
No, I can tell you about them. There's Glasses, you know, because I didn't want to because my story is kind of like Batman in a way, but not in the sense that it's a Batman story. It's just, I guess, character-wise, like it has so many diverse characters like you can choose that you can like.
A rogues gallery.
Right, exactly, a rogue gallery. So Glasses, he's like one of the main leaders. He's the leader of the Bloodline, you know. And then there's Gunny Rose, and he's the leader of the Emerald Brotherhood, you know. So Glasses has a unique ability. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. I got a few more as nice. Like I got a guy called Cinder, you know. He got a tragic story. But he's an anti-hero.
Okay.
But with Glasses, he's got like a force field ability, you know, like he can shield himself from like guns fire and all that stuff, and he can use like telekinesis and toss you around and, you know, stuff like that, you know. And he can kind of see into the future if he closes his eyes, you know, which is what you're seeing right here in this picture right here where the guy's coming through the window.
Yeah.
Well, if you scroll up to the first page where they're talking, Glasses and the other guy talking, if you notice, he got his eyes closed.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right.
Oh, that's his Glasses right here. Yeah.
Yes, so he's seeing that the guy is coming, and he's gonna tell him, you know, because the guy asks, Ratchet asks, so do you think he has abilities also? And you know, Gret's telling him, you're about to find out, because he sees him coming, and he leaves before he arrives. Yeah.
Man, that is awesome. So it sounds to me like you're really doing some world building. So you're probably planning on more books, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, 100%. I plan to do maybe, I'm not sure I'm gonna do short series like 23 pages, you know, or I'm gonna do like graphic novels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 104. Your book is 104 pages.
But it's gonna be more.
Look, that what is it? I thought 132. Is that what I saw?
Right, it's gonna probably end up 132 because I made a typo on the perks. I was put 104, and I put by mistake 132 because that's what I was planning in the original campaign. But I made an error, so I'm gonna fulfill the 132 pages.
Yeah, well, you got 5 days left on your Indiegogo, right? About there.
Right.
Do you plan on doing any kind of like, you know, big push out, maybe on like Ethan Van Sciver's show or something like that?
Yeah, EVS has told me that he wants to towards my last day, that he wants to help me boost up my campaign a bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna leave the store open, and then I got some ideas that I'm gonna throw out there to help, you know, get more people to back it. I'm gonna have a contest for people who bought the physical copies.
Right.
I'm gonna hold a contest where they're gonna get original art.
Oh,
you know?
man.
Cool.
So
Right.
you do have original art for this all the way through, or is it primarily done digitally, or is
No, it's gonna be penciled pages.
okay?
Wow. That's
Right.
Man, I tell you what, I'd like to win one of those.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, right, because right now the artist is sending me 4 pages. So I'm gonna hold the contest for 4 pages, and then when he does more pages and he sends it to me, I'm gonna do more contests. You
That's
know?
great. That's great, man. So
I think your Indiegogo is unique. Has some unique things that is pretty cool. So I know you're on Malin the other night, and we were watching. Jason and I were both on there watching, and he was kind of going through and, you know, saying like, you could move this and move that and whatever. But your perks and stuff and what you get for the money, you have some cool stuff. And I know you're probably going to get into that later, Jason. But It's pretty
Well,
cool.
I was going to ask about the big tiers. You sold a couple of $1,200 tiers.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
a
cool.
nice tier to sell. So how'd you manage to do that?
I went to sleep the night before, and I woke up in the morning, and they were gone. I was like, "What the?" Like, and they were gone at the same, like nearly almost the same time. And then I got these emails from the two backers telling me, I was trying to beat the other guy to it, and he got there before
Oh
me.
my goodness!
He
So they
is a
were really.
super villain.
So you know, as well, I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but as Dan and I are putting together our book, we're trying to figure out what kind of tiers to have. And so it
Right.
seems like a big package like that with some original art, that's something that's really attractive to people.
Yeah, I learned that from EBS because that's what EBS did. What EBS did was he told people the first certain amount of people, like let's say you got a 48-page book, the
Yeah.
first 48 people to back, what's a hero, right?
Yeah.
Will get original page, one each backer,
That's pretty cool.
That is.
So people were trying to get on that really quick.
Yeah, so he was giving it away. He's basically giving all of his original art away or selling
Yeah,
it.
he gave it all away. So
Man.
so let's say he publishes 70 pages, right?
Yeah.
Well, those 70 pages are gonna go to 70 backers.
Oh man, what a deal.
That's a pretty cool idea too.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, so what about Comicsgate? Speaking of EBS and all that, how did you get into Comicsgate in the first place?
Actually, I wasn't even in Comicsgate. It was just like not even EBS. I mean, he talked about it, and he was doing the whole Star Wars gate, how they destroying Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I was following him because I was interested in what he was saying and what's going on in the movie industry, especially with Star Wars. And then next, just this, Comicsgate started leaking into his channel, and then when he released Cyberfrog, that just became full blown Comicsgate right there.
Yeah.
And so I've been involved with Comicsgate since then.
Are you is it something where you agree politically, or is that not even a part of it for you?
I agree with the idea that there's a lot of things being forced, on the readers and especially on the children, and that shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. Like I was telling my wife, like I heard that they planning to do you see, because look, I got friends in the LGBTQ community, right?
Right.
And so I was reading an article that they're gonna put Elsa, the new Frozen, is gonna have a girlfriend or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, they can't be doing that. These are kids. Kids don't understand the adult world. If they grow up to be a gay individual or lesbian or transgender, let them do it at their choice as an adult, not because they've seen it in the cartoons and they want to be like it.
Right.
Let them discover themselves, because right now what you're doing is you're forcing your ideas on them and they're not discovering who they are.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things too, because I'm a dad, so like I have to constantly watch everything that's coming through the TV from my kids.
Right.
And it just seems like there's this sort of like looseness with adult themes in general.
Right. Right.
Even in the family movies that we go see, a good example is we went to see the last Incredibles movie. I took the whole family. We're sitting there, and probably a good quarter of that movie is just adult dialogue. It's not cursing, right? It's not like, overly complex, but it's just this dialogue. Well, actually, there was some cursing. A couple of the characters were sitting across, and they're having drinks, and they're using some adult language, and it's casual. It's not really shocking. I didn't leave there feeling like my kids had been exposed to anything crazy, but it was they're just pushing that boundary a little bit. I feel like, for me, Incredibles is about the whole family. So you want it to be a fun adventure. And so much of it was just adults sitting and talking about adult things. And I just really, that really bothered me, because I really loved the first Incredibles. It was one of my favorite Pixar movies. And I was really excited to take the family to see it. But I left with that feeling of, it was pretty cool. The action scenes were great. I liked all the fun characters, but could have done without all of that long dialogue,
Right.
Anyway, but that's an example for me. But
yeah, they're forcing it in there. I mean, like you can tell, you can see it. Some of the dialogues are just like they try to do it like they try to make it like it's hidden, but it's there. You can see the jokes and you can get it. And if you're an adult, you understand. The kids don't understand. But as an adult, you'd be like, okay, that's not right. You know, that's a kid's cartoon. Why would you put that in there?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey guys, hate to jump in and bust you up, but hey, I got a question for you. Cridious, this one's for you. So we have a guy, Trey, Daniel. He has been, he gets on Jason and I's live stream. He's our biggest supporter, maybe our only supporter, biggest.
Only one. Thanks, Trey.
Awesome,
Thanks, Trey.
But Trey's cool, and so I've been talking to him about. So I'm the writer on Hero, and obviously you have done a lot of writing, and so he's trying to write a book right now. And so, you know, he's talking about trying to get this book. He says his target is trying to get it done in about a year, but he doesn't think that's it's not a very long story, is what he's saying. How, like, in writing, do you feel like there's do you have like a time limit you want to give yourself to write something down? Do you give yourself due dates, or do you just kind of like let it flow out and go with what you got? And he also asked, what's your goal when writing dialogue? That's
right.
Open-ended, but
when it comes to writing a story, I just want to flesh out the idea. I just want to, you know, open up a Word document, or if I got a pad or a pencil, I just write down the idea, and then I try to flesh it out. I try to expand on it, and then I write it out. You know, I don't focus on dialogue. Or if I got a pad or a pencil.
Sorry about that.
Yes, all right. Yeah, so I just flesh out the idea, and I worry about dialogue last, because dialogue is very tricky, and it takes time to nail it right, because you don't want your characters all to sound the same and use the same words. Yeah, you know. So that's what I do. I just flesh it all out, and then I write down the story, and I put it to script, and then I go back and I review, make sure, you know, all my panels are okay, everything's reading fine, and then I work on the dialogue. And what I do is, for dialogue is I focus, like I go watch movies, and I pay attention to dialogues. Or you can go to a mall and sit down and watch people conversate, you know, and see and watch them how they move their bodies, the gestures and all that, and you can put that in your story. You know, you can implement your story and just create dialogue from there.
That's cool. Yeah, I think when I initially came up with this the basic concept, and Jason and I started working together to put this book, our book, together. And one of the things that I'm super into, I felt pretty strongly about being able to write it and write some of the dialogue pretty well. And so the thing that I'm into that's helped me a lot is I listen to audiobooks every single day. I listen to lots of books.
Right. And, that helps.
The different characters of different books I listen to everything from like fantasy stuff to super sci-fi to like war stuff and everything in between, even some like noir kind of novels. And being able to hear a voice actor do those voices and the dialogue they have has been really helpful to me. And so I thought too, that's interesting. You talking about like sitting at the mall and just like listening to people. That's a really neat way of getting some like real world options in there. But it's been fun. It's been fun to write. I really enjoy it. But I think you're right about just getting the character idea and then like diving into that character afterwards and really fleshing them out once you start writing the story.
Right, because you know, once you figure out who your character is, he speaks to you or she speaks to you as you write out the dialogue, and then you know the kind of responses the other character is going to give. You know. Yeah.
So, and he asked again. So, do you even format anything when writing the first draft, or do you just write the story like a novel and then format it?
Right. No, I take a Word document and I flesh out the whole entire story, and then once I know what my story is, then I go put it into a format.
Cool. Yep.
That's my daughter crying.
Hey, Cridious, if you need to run, that's
no. It's fine. It's fine. She's probably upset because the tablet died or something.
Dude, I think we all have that exact same situation. Mine is probably upstairs losing it right now too.
Yeah, no. It's cool. Just know that on my show, we're definitely family sensitive. So if you need to bounce, roll with it.
I'm all right. I can see her from here. She's like on the sofa.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, man. So hey, that's all the questions I had as far as your book. I did back it today. I couldn't resist. Dan, did you have any other questions for Cridious about his book? Or any more questions in the chat? I can't really follow as closely as you can.
I haven't seen anything else from Trey. He just says he listens to a lot of podcasts and stuff. That's still when we were talking about dialogue, but
Yeah.
Right.
not that you put me since you put me on the spot. No, I don't. But I will say it's. I like. I've lost my thought. Just go. You probably.
Yeah. So look, Cridious, would you like to see our comic that we've been working on? We'd like to get some feedback from you if you got time for that.
Yeah, I got time. Sure.
All right, let me slide over here.
Okay, so Trey, another thing also you can do is you can base your characters on people you know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So are some of these villains somebody you know, Cridious?
No. But I did name them after my nephews.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I didn't name them after my daughters because some of these characters probably go through some abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I got 3 girls, 1 boy.
Right.
Oh man, look, that's cool. I got 4 kids too, Chris.
Yeah, my mother has 4 kids, and she's lucky. She had 2 girls, 2 boys.
I got 2, and they're both off the hook, and I can't have any more. I'm worried about my house and my life.
Yeah, I got 4, and it's a recipe for insanity, but it's always something going on, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, so let me give you the synopsis, okay?
Okay.
Before we jump in, I'll give you the short version. The United States is locked in a long, brutal war with Russia. Enemies realize that a nuclear solution could be imminent, but both sides want to avoid it. The U.S. is focused on biotech and robotic advantages, and even extracted the Kremlin's best biotech scientist and put him to work on a new project called CROW, which stands for Combatant Recovery Ordnance. Dr. Krupin, that's this guy right here, up here with the light shining behind him. Dr. Krupin developed a chemical formula that could re-energize cellular activity in dead tissue. Partnered with the best mind for robotics and artificial intelligence, Dr. Jorge Perez, Dr. Krupin was able to develop the first CROW unit, but the technology is misunderstood and unviable. So Krupin gets to work on a beta version, introducing Hero, hardware integrated reanimation ordnance, complex AI robotics, integrating Krupin's reanimation formula. Now in the midst of war, mankind may find its greatest enemy or its greatest ally. So that's kind of my written out synopsis. And basically this robot right here is Hero.
Right.
This doctor, as well as another AI doctor, created this thing and basically gets the American boys who are dead on the battlefield back up, and they become these super energized Frankenstein creatures. So we've got a lot of the book already kind of written out, dialogue, and illustrated. These pages are just kind of walking through the story.
Right. This is good.
And just kind of like, you can see here that this is General Marsh, and he's yelling because the program is not going as fast as it should.
Right.
That's Dr. Perez right there. He's the AI specialist. We go to a scene where we see the first CROW unit being placed onto a carcass. And they show the process of how it goes on there and starts to connect itself to the body.
Right.
And then you see this process right here, which Dan has come up with, called the neural bridge, which basically connects the dead tissue to the robotics and brings the subject back to life. And what I'm showing you right now is like the first, it's like the 13-page ash can.
Okay.
And so basically this is going to be kind of we're thinking it's going to be a giveaway item so that you can jump into the story and figure out what's going on.
Right.
So then this creature walks up to the glass General Marsh is watching him, and he's very upset. He doesn't like what he is, and he begins to react. And then with amazing agility, he jumps up and he finds the weakest link in his cell, and he begins to try to get out. So they've got to shut this thing down pretty quick, which they do with an EMP, a local EMP,
right?
And they shut the creature down. And then there's some dialogue between them. Basically, just you better get this show up and running. And then this is as far as I've made it, as far as artwork and dialogue right here. So we're introducing characters, and we're giving you an inside scoop of what's going on. And like I said, it's an ash can or a 0 issue.
Right.
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts on this?
I like the story. I like the idea. It's definitely different. I like it.
I think after we're looking at his Indiegogo this morning. I like the idea. We've been talking about giving it away, and I think it would be a cool thing. I mean, just get people. Instant gratification is something for a lot of people, and
right.
That's one thing. But also just appreciation. Like, I think just getting it out there will feel good to us, and it'll feel. I hope people will get it and really genuinely enjoy.
Yeah, I like the story. I was gonna ask a question. I forgot, was it something about the machine? So is the machine in charge, or is the man in charge when they use the machine?
So I'll take this one. So basically, there's two sorts of machines there. Hero, that's on that image. Let's see that Jason. Oh, that one right there. The one with that kind of black round helmet. That's Hero, and so he's something more. The one that's in this ash can is what we call a CRO unit, CRO, and that stands for Combat Reanimation Ordnance, and it's basically a militarized version that is where Kruppen is kind of beginning from. And
right.
What happens is once it latches in, like once that body's dead, it's dead. But the human brain has so much potential, and human bodies are so strong, but your body can only release like so much energy. I mean, that's just scientific, right? But once this thing latches on, it basically uses your brain, and it has unlimited potential, like whatever the body is capable of, which is, not Hulk level strength, but it's not, I mean, maybe picking up a car though is something the human body could do in theory when your brain doesn't have any, filters or firewalls. So that's kind of what these things do. Hero is something more than the basic CRO unit that you're going to see in the first issue. He's is gonna be basically what drives the story onward, and he's not very one-dimensional. He's gonna be a character that will grow with the book the entire way through, and I think that's what's so cool about him, is that he's gonna have his own arc within the story, and it's gonna be really neat.
Nice.
This guy right here, his name is Dr. Perez.
All right.
And he is the guy who is the AI genius. And so he has a little backstory where we talk about his what he's trying to do. But what happens is Dr. Kruppen, he figures out a way to reanimate the cells, but he needs the AI and the robotics to help make the reanimated creature a viable weapon for the U.S. Army. Right. Controllable. Right. So what we're suggesting is that because the U.S. Army is in such a hurry to get this thing completed, because it's World War III, they're at a stalemate, and actually losing against Russia. And what they don't have enough warriors, but what they have plenty of is dead bodies. So that's why this is so important, and that's why they're being pushed so hard to get this working. But in their rush to get this working, they're missing key components about the brain. And what you're going to see after the first ash can is that they figure out how to tap into that extra percentage of the brain that we're not using. And so, but it can only happen after the person is dead. And so that's why there's so much potential for this warrior who can connect to Hero.
I like it. I really do like it. And when are you guys gonna release the Indiegogo?
Looking at early November. We've got with this many pages done. I always feel like you need to have more, but we have a whole ash can almost developed, so people can definitely see it. They can see the story. I can give away a lot of things on it, so I feel like we're getting pretty close to being ready.
Yeah, I like it. I really do. So you said that Hero grows with the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I think it's gonna be awesome. So is he gonna stay the same throughout the whole storyline, or like do they evolve?
The robot is going to. That's why when I'm talking about it with people, I'm saying that it's like Wall-E meets Frankenstein.
Right, right.
Because you're going to see the personality of the AI start to become self-aware, right? And what happens is when he's connecting with the brain of a person, he is connecting with their humanity. And so many of these people are the people that are willing to give their lives for their country. So this is a real pro. It's a real pro military type of book,
right?
And it's a pro. It's a patriotic book because these guys are not only giving their life once; they're going to give their life twice.
Right. I like it. I really do like it. I like the idea of the whole thing that he's going to experience human emotion. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing that they get, I mean, these guys in battle, a lot of times they are killed and don't have opportunity to say the things that they want to say or make sure that they have done the last things they want to do. And one of the benefits of actually being brought back to life with Hero with this unit is that you got a chance to transmit digitally those things that you wanted, those last things that you wanted to say to your loved ones. And so I'm hoping that we can really draw a lot, even though it's a very kind of like high-tech, weird sci-fi type epic. I'm hoping that we'll draw a lot of humanity out of this and talk about what it really means to be human.
Right.
And the key thread through the entire book that we've created is greater love has no man than he lays down his life for his friends.
Right. Right.
And so we are going to. We're going to basically be talking about, about that theme throughout the whole book. And we're going to be talking about heroes versus, people who are just out for themselves.
I like it. And what have you spoken to John Malin to go on his show?
We've tried.
He has back to you?
No. Well, we haven't been able to DM him on Twitter. And honestly, in a move of desperation, I moved to Facebook. But I'm sure that guy, I mean, he's at tops when you're talking about this. So, he's going to, it's going to be hard to get through to him, I think, without like a formal kind of, intro. But that's okay. Rightly so. Like he's like I said, he's tops. And he's an important dude, so I don't expect him to pay attention to every guy who shoots him an email and says, "I want to be on your channel."
Right? No, I'll let him know. I'll talk to him today.
That'd be awesome, man. We would really appreciate it, and I can't thank you enough for coming on and chatting with us too. I follow you on Twitter, and I love a lot of the stuff you put out, and so it's been neat to just chat with you, on our YouTube.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. It means a lot to me.
Well, Cridious, with that, I think we're good. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, or did you want to? I put your link to your Indiegogo in the chat or in the description, so anybody that watches this later can click on it.
Yeah, I'm actually talking to somebody from the community, and he's gonna be building me a limited edition character for the Detective Dead. It's gonna be a figurine. I'm gonna give it away. It's only gonna be one.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll follow along and wait for that announcement.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if we have a chance to, do some streams in the future, would love to have you back again, man. Yeah, it's fun to talk to you about this stuff, and
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and tell Malin to open up his DM so we can get at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. I'm definitely gonna tell him.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again, Cridious. Is it Antonio? Is that your?
Yeah, I just try not to use it so much because.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I know John was calling you that. I didn't know what you.
Yeah, I told John, I was like, John, stop calling me that, man.
We'll stick with Cridious. My bad.
No, this is my father's name, and I'm not used to being called by my father's name.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, go take care of that family. Thank you for your time today, and we will chat with you very soon. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
All right,
you too.
Have a good one.
Later.
You too. Later, chat. Bye, everybody.
Yep.